I'm literally feeling like Alicia right now. I'm trying to get through these reviews. I have not eaten today, so I have my crackers too. So if you hear my stomach growling during the review, excuse me. And it's funny, so while I was getting ready for this, while I was eating my cracker, I opened up TikTok, and the first thing I saw was the seating chart for the Real Housewives of Rhode Island reunion. Now, on one side, we have Liz, then Rula, then Rosie, and Ashley at the end. On the opposite side, across from Liz, we have Alicia, then Joellen, then Kelsie. Now, how I think it should go, Rula and Joellen should be at the front. Y'all can say what y'all want about Rula and her not being there, but even when she wasn't there, she was a topic of conversation the whole time. And their beef, I feel like, was the biggest deal throughout the whole season. So this is how I think it should go. It should be Rula, then Rosie, then Liz, then Ashley. Then on the other side, just Joellen and Alicia need to switch. Kelsie could stay at the end. So Joellen, Alicia, and then Kelsie on the other side. But I know that's not going to happen now, seeing this with Liz, because I feel like they made Liz the focal point of the show. She's going to be like the Kyle Richards, like the Teresas. She's going to always be first chair regardless of what is happening. I can tell that already. I can tell. I'm actually excited about the reunion because I feel everyone is going in their interviews talking about they got receipts on this, they got receipts on that. Now, I hope the receipts are landing because, typically when people bring receipts to reunions, they don't land. But Rhode Island, this feels different. These ladies really have a point to prove, and they're out for blood right now. So let's see. Let's get into it. The Real Housewives of Rhode Island, Season 1, Episode 8. The ladies, they are home after their trip to Newport, 30 minutes down the road, which is pretty much essentially across the country when you're in Rhode Island. Bill, he's trying to help Alicia improve her driving skills. Now, he's trying to help because he drives the kids to dance class. Alicia, what are you doing? Say what y'all want about Bill. Bill is the most supportive husband ever, okay? Yeah, he might not be putting her name on the mortgage, but he is giving her money. He is going to work at all these restaurants, and he's driving the kids around. Alicia just sitting at home doing nothing, eating crackers. Come on, girl. You got me defending a man right now. I hate defending men. I'm always on the woman's side, but girl, you gotta step it up a little bit, okay? Gosh. Look, they're driving and they're catching up about the trip. Alicia feels attacked by Liz because of the whole situation with Liz going, you were never homeless, when Alicia said she was homeless. And then don't forget the next day when Alicia made that whole Beyonce Sasha Fierce analogy while Liz was talking. Liz cut her off and kind of chopped her head off about that too. Then she tells Bill about Brian's video with the whole mistress and how she's debating on if she should tell her or not. Bill is like, do whatever you feel like is right. And I'm with him on that. You don't need anyone else telling you what to do. Don't let these girls push you into doing something you don't want to do. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. They have the information too. They can do whatever they want with it. Joellen has the video. She can do what she wants with it. I'm sure all the other girls got the video because at this point, if Joellen got it, she probably sent it to everyone. So you do what you want with that. While they're having this conversation, Alicia is running stop signs left and right. The state need to mail her some tickets after watching this video. She's running stop signs left and right. She's crossing over the double yellow lines, and I'm thinking, oh no. You might want to keep driving the kids to dance class for a little bit longer because she needs more practice. It is crazy. And what y'all need also is smaller cars. Y'all got these big ass cars. You got this giant Mercedes SUV. Y'all have this giant like Lincoln Navigator in the driveway too. She needs something small like a Toyota Camry, something that's not going to cause too much damage when she crashes into something. Okay. So the next scene we get is Rosie, Rich, and the newest housewife, Clemmy. They go on a walk. Before the walk, Rosie walks us through the hassles of renovation and how the renovation is taking longer than expected because they're running into all these problems, which I feel like is typical of any renovation. It's never perfect. The schedule is never on time. There's always something. They started digging up to put the foundation down. They found boulders in the ground, so they had to remove the boulders. So instead of 1 week, it took 3 weeks. Like stuff like that always happens. It always takes longer and it always ends up costing more than what you originally entailed. I hope she's still on the show when they finish this. Because I want to see this all, come together. Especially with all this drama we're having over the square footage of the damn house. But so after that, they start walking. On the walk, they're reflecting on the Newport trip also. They're pretty much talking about the Kelsie of it all and how Kelsie is talking and knocking Rosie for everything that Kelsie doesn't have. Rich asks how they made up so quick. She talks about the conversation, how Kelsie admitted she doesn't know how to talk to Rosie and that they agreed to move forward. And he gives good advice. He suggests that they should do something together to, keep things going, to keep the momentum going in a positive direction. So Rosie says she's going to ask Kelsie to do her hair. And she just lets them know, like, I'm trying to do everything I can to make these girls happy, and it's never good enough. And Rich gives her some more solid good advice. He's like, look, if it happens again, you go back after them. They don't respect you because you let them walk all over you. So you need to put your foot down and stand up for yourself. And I said, I know that is right. Like I said, he's giving great advice because he's not just like rah, rah, rah. I hate these women. They're coming after my wife. No, he's like, try to make up with them. But if they come at you, you come back as you should. Now, outside of that, though, I don't like Rich. Rich is always complaining. He seems very uptight. There was one at the beginning of one of the episodes. They were washing a car and they were having fun. And like not Kelsie, Lord. Rosie like sprayed him with water and he's like, stop, don't do that. He got mad about that. When they were talking, Rosie's like bouncing around on her little with her little bouncy shoes. And he's like, can you stop bouncing around? When Clemmy was rolling in the grass, he had a problem with that. When Clemmy was pooping in the grass, where should Clemmy go? In the grass. He was like, oh, Clemmy, why? Like, he just seems like an uptight person who is always complaining about the littlest things. You just can't have fun. Loosen up. Yeah. Something about him I don't know. Something about him rubs me the wrong way. I don't know. I don't know. Next scene, we get Kelsie and her family assembling some IKEA furniture. All she has in this tiny apartment while they're assembling this furniture is her Miss Rhode Island title in the back of the scene. And you can tell that is just her defining, crowning moment in life. Because, I mean, she hasn't done anything else. She hasn't worked anywhere. She's just been living with this rich man. That is her defining, crowning jewel right there. And so she had to put it in the background for everybody to see. And that's why at the end of the episode, when Rosie said, your sugar daddy paid for it, she was eating that girl up. I can't wait to get there. She was eating Kelsie up. When Rosie said at the end of the episode, your sugar daddy paid for it, that's the only thing that stuck with Kelsie. Kelsie left that house, came back in, got pushed, got hands put on her, and the only thing she could think about was the fact that she got called out about that Miss Rhode Island title. It's given, I peaked in high school, or I peaked when I got this title, and that's all I have going for me. So don't attack the only thing I have going for me. But they're assembling furniture. Her family's getting on her about her man still paying for her sugar daddy, her ex still paying for her new apartment, which I still get. I understand him paying for the apartment initially. He's going to have to figure it out eventually. I understand her not moving in with Billy right away because she doesn't need to jump from one relationship to the next. She needs to learn how to be independent. And I will respect Kelsie for trying to be independent so far. And I say so far because I want to see what happens once the ex actually cuts everything off and she has to start making her own money. But I respect her for having the mentality. She's not going into this like, oh my God, life is going to be hard. Oh, I need to do oh, I can't believe I don't have this anymore. Like, she recognizes the fact that she's going to have to work. And I'd at least respect that. Because had it been anybody else, it would have been a completely different story. Next scene, we get to Ashley's house. Dawson is feeling better. Ashley is influencing, and Jared is at the coffee shop. Let's move on. We get to Joellen, her sister Jen, and her mom. They go visit their grandfather's house. While visiting the grandfather's house, Joellen, she is already ready to come at her mom about some things. Soon as they go in and they're taking a tour, they go into their old bedroom and she's like, Mom, you remember when you moved Jen out and y'all went to the house and you left me here for a few weeks before you came and got me? And all the mom can do is go, oh, Joellen, I'm so sorry I did that. I love you. Child, Joellen was not having it. They go outside, they sit on the front porch and they're looking through the photo album. And Joellen brings up how her mom was not nice to her. And let me tell you, had it been me, because I'll give you a little bit of my business. I don't have the greatest relationship with my mom. Had it been me, this conversation would have went completely left. And let me tell you why. Joellen sits down and she's like, you weren't nice. And her mom was like, well, you weren't nice either. And you were no angel. And Joellen's like, well, I was a child. Like, you're the parent. You're supposed to be nice. Joellen brings up how, she was sent away and all this other stuff. And when she's bringing it up, initially, the mom started laughing. She kind of just laughed it off. And even when they were in the house, her mom started laughing when she's like, oh, you took Jen and left me here for a few weeks while y'all went and lived together. And the mom was just like, oh, Joellen, I'm so sorry. The laughing would have just completely ruined the rest of the conversation. Everything would have went left and we wouldn't have came back from it. It just would have. I wouldn't have been able to recover from it. But they recover. They recovered. And I'm glad they did because I don't want to see a family, fall apart. But Joellen talks about, she's like, you sent us away. And the mom was just like, I was going through a lot. It was just unbearable. I was overwhelmed. I didn't know what to do. And it's just the best I can do. And so she's like, and you weren't the easiest. And Joellen's like, well, what did I do? She's like, you lied. Lied about what? Lied about being out with boys. Okay. That's what normal teenagers do. That's what they do. And so Joellen lets her know, she's like, that's a normal teenager's responsibility. And I was depressed. And so Jen, she even jumps in and was like, we felt like there was no way out. It was a tough situation for both of us. And I'm like, good job, Jen, on having your sisters back. The mom, she starts crying and she gives an example of how her mom wasn't loving and how she like bust her eye open. And the mom was like, oh my God, you ruined my floors while she was bleeding all over the place. And she admits that, hey, like, I became my mom pretty much, and I did the best I can, but I do love y'all, and I want to move forward. And so they ended up hugging, and it was a nice scene. And I do appreciate that the mom was able to take some accountability, because when she started laughing at the beginning, I was like, oh, she's not going to take any accountability at all, but she did. She did. I feel like if Jen didn't get involved, she would not have taken accountability. I'm kind of with Joella now. It seems like she likes Jen better. But Joellen tells her, like, look, let's just try to move forward. Just come spend time with the family and not just babysitting. Like, let's hang out. Let's cook together. Let's do actual family things. And that's how we wrap up that scene. It was a nice, real scene. The next scene we get, Dolores Square. They're doing a taste testing for menopause gummies at Liz's cannabis lab. I say Dolores Squared because they both look like Dolores. While they're doing it, Liz talks about how Rhode Island is the first state to make menopausal women a protected class in the workplace. And good for them for doing that because I've worked at my last job. I worked with a lot of people from like different ages, and I just know how that can affect older women. Just women in general, they go through a lot. Hats off to women in the workplace Because y'all have to go through menopause, y'all have to go through periods, y'all have to work through pregnancy sometimes because the maternal leaves at these jobs suck. Like, y'all go through it all at work while dealing with a bunch of BS. So, hats off to all the women out there. I love it. I love it. Next scene we get Rula and Brian having a double date with Alicia and Bill. Alicia is still not driving. Bill pulls up in that big old tank of a car. Alicia, she's conflicted on whether to inform Rula about the video. And like I said, you do what you want to do. Don't let anyone pressure you into doing something you want to do. Now, I'm glad she didn't because it would be very tasteless for you to come into somebody's house when they invite you over for dinner, they're cooking for you, giving you a nice meal, and then you just kind of like throw this in their face at their own house. So I'm glad you didn't. I'm glad she didn't do it. Brian, he starts talking. He has way too many drinks and is just running his mouth, just saying all types of crazy stuff. They start talking about Ozempic and all the stuff that he does at his medical practice because they don't just do feed apparently, but he's like everything that gets done there, he partakes in it. So he does Ozempic when he wants to lose weight, steroids when he does too much Ozempic, and then Botox to touch things up. And you know what that told me? That Joellen was right. When Joellen said, does he look like he goes to the gym? He don't, because he has the Ozempic and all this other stuff at his disposal. Brian is not at the gym every morning. Brian is bringing coffee to the mistress, like Joellen said. So while they're talking, Brian's phone vibrates. And I'm like, why? It rings, actually. Why is your phone not on silent? You're at a dinner table on a double date. Put it on vibrate at least. But it rings. It's like you want to get caught. Like he's not even a smart cheater. But he looks at the camera, which is the funny part, before he grabs it. And then he goes to Rula, hey, can I go to the bathroom? Which I thought was odd. You have to ask permission to go to the bathroom? Come on now. Weird. He comes back afterwards saying he had a work call. Other than Rula, who are you fooling? Because you're not fooling us. And then he continues to just keep talking and running his mouth and saying all this crazy stuff. He's talking about how he can't stand when meat is medium rare when he's eating now because it smells like the blood in his surgery. Rula is like, oh my God, Brian, please stop embarrassing me. Girl, this is the least amount of embarrassment you need to worry about because he's embarrassing you in many other ways. Then they start asking how long were they dating before they got married, and Brian says something so crazy, creepy, and cringe. He says that they met at a bar and he was pretty much getting her drunk, ordering doubles while he was taking singles. That sounds so predatory, Brian. You are a Brian is a disgusting person. He is a rat, a snake, whatever you want to call it. He is, because that is disgusting. The fact that she sat there and was just okay with that, I'm like, wow. Okay, Rula, you got yourself a winner. Ugh, that was disgusting. I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed for Rula. Chow. But after that, Alicia decides she's not going to say anything because she wants to respect the sanctity of their home. And then we move on and we get to the grand finale. Okay. I was trying to get speed through this because this is where I want to get to. Kelsie versus Rosie. Now, I'm going to start off by saying this. No one had good intentions going into this meeting. Because let's say Kelsie didn't have the bullhorn. Rosie already had the blueprints out. So as soon as Kelsie would have walked in, Rosie would have showed her those blueprints and they would have gotten into it regardless. So nobody had good intentions here. So here we go. It is the blueprint versus the bullhorn. Kelsie shows up to this house screaming on some bullhorn. We got a house. Is it 8,000 feet? It's the house police. Is it 8,000 square feet or 8,000 square inches? First of all, how do you even get that feature in your car? I don't have a Range Rover. Is that something that naturally comes into Range Rovers? Because that is a crazy feature to have a bullhorn in your car. I feel like that should only be legal in cop cars. But she comes doing all this hooting and hollering in this neighborhood. And I'm with Rosie. I would have been pissed off. Whether we're on good terms or not, do not come to my house making all of this noise. Okay? She lives in a quiet neighborhood. They got an HOA. And then, when you're filming a reality TV show too, some neighbors already don't like that there's a camera crew in their neighborhood and that a show is being filmed in their neighborhood. Then add on top of it, you come here making all this noise. The neighbors are not going to appreciate that. Now, on the flip side, Rosie, why are you, the fact that you had to bring a blueprint out and you're really not feeling this girl, your house is supposed to be a sacred space. I am not inviting someone into my house that I'm not cool with. We're going to meet in a public place. We can meet on the street in front of my house, but you are not coming into my house. Not at all. Not at all. My house is a sacred space for me, and I need to protect my peace. She shows up, though. She's, being obnoxious. Rosie comes down and she's like, "Girl, what are you doing right now?" She lets Kelsie know, like, "I'm not feeling this. I'm not feeling this." Kelsie says that it's a joke. She says that it's fine. She says I was being lighthearted. She says I was busting your balls. She told Rosie to relax. She told everything to Rosie except for "I'm sorry." All you had to do was say, "Girl, I'm sorry. I was trying to be lighthearted." No, she didn't give one apology at all. Okay? That's all you had to do. But no, you did it intentionally. You were trying to be shady. Rosie was not having it. They get upstairs. She's like, "Here, I got the blueprints out for you. You want to go measure the house now?" And Kelsie, she is just trying to get this haircut because Kelsie needs some money to pay her bills. So she's like, "No, we can do it after the haircut." Rose is like, "No, let's do it now. Let's do it before you do this. Like, you want to talk about my house? You come in here yelling, it's 8,000 square feet, 8,000 square inches." She said, "Where the fuck is your home? Because I'm on the deed of this house." I was gagged. I said, "Eat her up." And all Kelsie could do, Kelsie was so shocked because she was not expecting Rosie to stand up to her. She's just like, "Relax, babe. You're being aggressive. Rosie, chill, chill, chill." No, girl, you're ridiculous. And you're getting eaten the fuck up as you deserve. Kelsie's face was gagged when she said that. She said, "Where the fuck is your house? Because I'm on a deed to this house." She ate her up with that. She ate her up. So they start arguing and they're screaming, and Rosie is just letting her know, like, you have nothing in your name. You are nobody. She is shouting in her face. She is like this close to her. And so Kelsie, she pushes her back. And I got scared because in this moment, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like, it's just these two in this house. They're one on top of a stairway. If they start fighting, they're gonna go tumbling down the stairs. There's nobody here to break it up." I was worried for Clemmy. Like, there was just too many variables that I feel like could have just made this all go wrong. But I was really scared. I was like, "Oh my god, they're gonna start fighting. They're gonna get physical. No one's gonna be here to break it up. It's going to be a disaster. Someone's gonna get hurt." But she pushes her. Rosie's like, "Don't touch me." And she's like yelling in her face. And Rosie's like, "Get out of my house." Kelsie is still sitting there telling herself, "I'm leaving. I'm leaving." Then leave, girl. I counted in this scene. Rosie told Kelsie to get out her house 12 times. I should not have to tell somebody to get out my house 12 times. If I tell you once, that is it. You gotta go. Okay? Honestly, I think we would have been in there fighting, and I would have called the cops. I would have called the cops on her. After I fought, I would have fought her and called the cops. I would have called the cops, beat her up. Then I would have called the cops on production too. Because why y'all letting her back in my house? Okay? No, but Rosie had it right because I would have grabbed her stuff. She lucky Rosie didn't throw it down the steps. I would have threw it down the steps. I would have threw it out the window. But no, she got it down. She dragged it downstairs. Kelsey's still trying to fight for her check because she's like, "Let me do your hair. Let me do your hair. Don't throw my stuff out. I need to get paid because I can't afford to live on my own." Rosie throws her stuff out and then she pushes her. Kelsey's like, "Don't touch me, girl. You touched her first. And you lucky when you touched her first, she didn't let you have it because you were in her house disrespecting her." Yeah, it could have been me. We would have been fighting in my house, and once the cops got there, I'm like, "I told her to leave 12 times. This is self-defense." And I started fighting production too, because like I said, as soon as they would have opened that door for her to walk back in, we would have had a problem. Y'all see me trying to kick this girl out, and y'all gonna let her back in? Come on now. But she pushes her out, and Kelsie, because Rosie told her, "The only thing you're successful for, you have nothing, is for this pageant, and you didn't even win the pageant fair and square. Your sugar daddy paid for it. That's all Kelsie needed to hear. She was so upset by that. She came walking back in and was like, "First of all, I won this pageant fair and square." And Rosie's like, "Girl, get the fuck out of my house. Like, are you crazy? Leave. Your stuff is in the driveway and you talking about a damn pageant." Like, you look crazy. Girl. And so then we get another good line. She's like, "Girl, you're a slam pig." I looked it up. Apparently, it's a Rhode Island term. I was like, "Girl, she done called you a slam pig. She was eating you up." Between the slam pig comment and the whole, "Girl, I got a house. Where the fuck is your hoe? I'm on the deed." Those two right there gagged her. The sugar daddy paying for the the Miss Rhode Island. I can't even get it out. Gagged her. Rosie ate her up. Rosie, I'm proud of you because I had this whole issue all season with you just running your mouth in your confessionals, and finally you deliver. But I hope you can keep this energy because it's not going to get easier from here, and at the reunion, it's going to be even much harder. But keep it up, girl, because you ate. You ate with that. But poor Clemmy. Clemmy was just sitting there looking at this craziness like, oh my gosh. She lucky too that Clemmy is a good dog because child, and that's the other thing. I was like, sick of Layla. Where's she at? She here? Oh, she's sleeping. Layla, if somebody come in my house like that, our house, you better bite their ankles. Okay, baby? Bite their ankles. It was a good episode. I'm really loving Rhode Island. It is feeding us. Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, and subscribe. Bye, y'all.